Boys, it's about that time for another Rocket review. We got a couple of projects up on the chopping block today, so let's just get right into it. I'm actually gonna do something, since a couple of these projects I don't really care about to talk that long about. I'm gonna skip over a few of these because the main one I want to talk about here today is Ant-Man, because that's a very important film for the MCU going forward, and I have a lot of feelings on it, so I want to spend the majority of the video talking about that one. It's also the newest one. Most of this other stuff is pretty old. Let's just get into it. Megan, real quick review. I'm kind of upset by the film because I wanted it to be really bad, and it ended up actually just being kind of okay. 70 out of 100. Next up was the Dead Space remake. This is how you do a remake. Oh my god. They updated gameplay while keeping the story there. They added more to the story to really expand onto the lore and the world of Dead Space. My god. Fantastic fucking remake. 90 out of 100 on the slosh scale. Still one of the greatest games ever. The next thing is Knock at the Cabin. Knock at the Cabin was M. Night Shyamalan. Is that how you say his name? I never know how to say the dude's name. M. Night. We're just going to call him M. Night. Was M. Night. He decided to pick up a pen and he wrote the most mediocre film of all time. I give it a 55 out of 100 because at least Dave Bautista's kind of fun. There's nothing like blaringly wrong with the movie. It's just kind of really like mid. Like, I don't like to use the word mid often, but that's what this movie is. Other than Dave Bautista, he's great. Now, with those out of the way, now it's time to get into Ant-Man. What did I think of Ant-Man? Well, not great. It could have been better. It should have been great. This should have been an easy swing and a hit for Marvel. I don't know how the hell they fucked it up to make one of, not the worst, like there's definitely worse films in the MCU. Iron Man 2, Eternals, Thor the Dark World, Ant-Man the Wasp I would say is arguably worse, but this film is not great still. This is not a good movie. It's really sad to see because I thought it would be great. Before we start getting too far though, since the movie just came out, I don't want to get into spoilers too heavy, but I also feel like I need to get into spoilers for some of the topics I want to talk about. So the first half or so of this review, I'm going to keep non-spoiler, give my review, give my score, and then I'm going to start getting into spoilers to actually explain what I was talking about in the non-spoiler review. So I'll give you a warning once spoilers come. If you want to up and dip, I don't really care. I'll let you know. First thing I heard about this movie, this was the one everyone was giving good things about, was Kang. Kang is amazing. He poses a threat for the MCU. I don't agree. I didn't think Kang was done that well in this movie, which I'll get to in the spoiler part of it. Like, Jonathan Majors' performance was fantastic. Don't get me wrong there. Jonathan Majors, he had a hell of a performance for this role. But actual, like, Kang's motivation and why he's doing what he's doing, he was pretty basic in one note, wasn't he? Like, he was intimidating, sure, but he was intimidating to Ant-Man. That's not really, like, intimidating to me. I don't think they did Kang justice in this film. I want to talk about this a lot more, but I'm going to wait for the spoiler discussion, so we're just going to move on from Kang. But I didn't think Kang was honestly that well done in the movie. Jonathan Majors did the best he could, but Kang was not written super well. And that's kind of the main problem with this movie. This movie does not have the best writing. I didn't think the story was all too great. There's not like really high stakes. Like, yeah, they get, obviously you see in the trailer, they get sent to the quantum realm, but there's no really reason for them to get out. There's no urgency for them to really try and get out. They're able to kind of just, take their time, explore these worlds, explore this and that, and do this, and have conversations about this, goof around with a guy that doesn't have holes. Overall, the story didn't make me feel like, wow, it's important that they get out. Because the one bit of urgency, wait, I don't know if I should talk about that here. Damn, okay, I can't really talk about that. I'll talk about that in the spoiler discussion. This is hard, doing non-spoiler reviews. This is hard. But anyways, I'll talk about it later. There wasn't a lot of urgency to the story. That's all you need to know. That Paul Rudd kind of carries the movie. He's funny. He knows great line delivery. Paul Rudd, in my eyes, can do nothing wrong. Like, he could be in a 10-hour film, which is just him speaking to the camera, insulting me and everything I love, and I'd still be like, you know what, that was a pretty good performance from Paul Rudd. He was pretty funny during that. In my eyes, he can't do anything wrong. He was great. Pretty much every other character was pretty bad. And not even like, I obviously love Paul Rudd, but Ant-Man's story doesn't really do anything. He starts the movie and ends the movie the exact same person. So do most of the characters. They like, nothing happens to them where they're like actually changed or affected by this. There's no character arc for any of the characters. You don't really get attached to anyone because nothing happens to them, so why the hell do I care? I mean, this is a problem with every Marvel movie, right? CGI, I don't know what the hell's going on with the CGI here. Everything looked like ass. It actually looked like they gave some fucking intern a piece of juicy fruit and told them to whip together a movie. Like, it was awful looking, especially this film, because at least some Marvel films have like some real sets, so you can at least kind of like don't have to use green screens and everything. This movie was entirely a green screen, which makes it really hard to look good when you are rushing and overworking CGI artists to a fucking sweat that they obviously can't make it look good, and it doesn't look good. The only thing that looked okay to me was MODOK. I think for how stupid of a character MODOK is, he surprisingly didn't look half bad. Like, yeah, it looks stupid, but like, I don't know how you could have made MODOK look like exactly great. Like, it looks as good as MODOK can look for being a fucking pop figurine. But yeah, overall, those are kind of my main things I want to talk about without spoilers. So it really hurts me to say this, but I gotta give Ant-Man, like, I'm gonna give it a 60 out of 100 on the rocket scale. It just sadly did not live up to the hype. Marvel has gotten so fucking good at making amazing trailers, but then the movies always kind of fall flat a little bit, and it's really sad because it should be amazing. But oh well, I hope Guardians 3 is really good. I have faith in James Gunn, and James Gunn we trust. So hopefully Guardians 3 picks up the place, because Marvel really needs a win at this point. Anyways, now we're gonna get into the spoiler discussion so I can explain myself a little bit farther. Kang, right? Okay, let's start with Kang. What was his like motivations? Everyone in all the reviews is like, wow, Kang is really like brilliant and has a great motivations. He's a terrifying villain, and while he was kind of terrifying, sure, like, yeah, he definitely posed a threat, which he didn't really even pose a threat. He got defeated by fucking ants. If this guy is getting killed by ants, but then you're gonna tell me that he killed millions of Avengers or whatever, like, you're an Avenger, have I killed you before? But then the guy got overthrown by ants. Like, are you serious? This guy killed Thor? Like, I don't want to see what Thor fucking did to this guy if ants just wrecked this dude. I didn't think he was really that strong posing, and if this is supposed to be your Kang the Conqueror, like main Kang that had other Kangs so fearful that they exiled him out of time, this is your most powerful Kang, and he gets defeated by just ants and a normal guy with a suit that allows him to shrink. That's what kills your most powerful Kang, really? That would be like if Thanos came down in Captain America the First Avenger and Captain America wiped the floor with Thanos by himself. I thought he was super unintimidating in this film. Yeah, his performance comes off as intimidating, but his actual strength doesn't show any actual strength. I also thought, like, can we be honest, this is kind of Thanos too. Like, instead of Thanos wanting to kill all half of the people in the universe to maintain stability because his own planet was broken and he didn't want people to go through the same pain, that's a little bit of a sympathetic reason that you can kind of get with. That's why Thanos is such a great villain. Kang, from what I got at least, sounded like he wanted to go and kill all the multiverses that were causing incursions so that his specific multiverse wouldn't be destroyed. You just took Thanos and took all the sympathy out of him and then tried to pass as a new villain. Like, he's just Thanos but killing multiverses instead of planets. That makes no sense, and there's no like reason to root for him at all. Like, congrats, he's going around killing multiverses. Why? Like, what's his purpose? He just wants his to be better? It made no sense, his motivation. I don't know. I was just really let down by Kang. Kang wasn't nearly as good, especially with all the hype surrounding Kang. I thought he wasn't done extremely well. The next thing is the no sense of urgency. In previous films, whenever we've seen anyone go into the quantum realm, there's always consequences for it. In Endgame, Scott goes into it and he comes out 5 years later. There's always like some sort of thing that happens. In this movie, they go to the quantum realm. They're there for like 2 hours or so. Like, we see them there for a good bit of time because they're there the whole movie, and then they come out and nothing happened. They're in the exact same moment. Why should I care about anything that happened then? I came up with a better ending for this movie in 15 seconds than a group of paid writers did in however long they worked on this shit. Why not I thought this was what they were gonna do, first of all, because I thought this would be dope and this would actually cause intrigue and for me to want to continue watching these films. I thought when they came out of the quantum realm, it was gonna be like, I don't know, 40, 50 years in the future or some shit, like a good bit in the future, and everyone was gonna be dead. Like, all the Avengers were gonna be dead, everything was gonna be happening, and then that would cause Ant-Man to have to go back into the quantum realm to kind of go through multiverses and go and like regain the Avengers, you know, something like that. I didn't workshop it too much, but something where they come out in like the way future and everyone's gone, everyone's dead. I thought that was what's gonna happen, but no, at the end of the movie they defeat Kang and they're just back in the same timeline celebrating Cassie's non-birthday. Like, why? There's no consequences to being in the quantum realm for that long. I don't know how this happened. This was really weird. They powered the portal that they used to get out of the quantum realm with Kang's like power source thing. So Ant-Man stays behind to make sure Kang doesn't get out, so he's fighting him, he's losing. Wasp comes through the portal, and then she like shoots him back, and the portal closes before they're able to get back in, but at least Kang didn't get out. You thought, okay, they made a sacrifice, now they're getting some consequences for that, for doing the right thing, now they are stuck in the quantum realm again, and maybe I thought they were going to end there. The portal just reopened out of nowhere. The power source was destroyed. It was gone. How did that portal just reopen? And then they just walk through and everything's fine again. Like, no consequences are ever seen in this film. And it just makes for a story that's so happy, go-giddy, woohoo, two shoes, everything. You just lose any sort of like, wow, that was really brave and heroic, or nothing. You feel nothing throughout the movie. Maybe you'll get a good joke and you'll get a good laugh. I laughed a little bit, but yeah, I didn't feel anything out of this movie, and it's really upsetting because those trailers made it seem like there was actually going to be consequences in this one, and there's no consequences whatsoever. Even in like other Marvel movies, like, yeah, sure, there's not like character deaths or anything. I'm not saying there has to be major consequences, but even just like Ant-Man and the Wasp ending up in the quantum realm and getting stuck in there, boom, that's your consequence, and that's what's like a turning point for the MCU, because okay, now Ant-Man and Wasp are stuck in there and they have this whole dynasty that Kang's built in the quantum realm. Cool. Like in Spider-Man No Way Home, when Spider-Man realizes that he fucked up and he's like, hey, Doctor Strange, you need to make everyone forget about me. That's a consequence. Now I want to see more of Peter's story because, wow, where does he go from there? I don't care to see more about Ant-Man because he's in the exact same spot he was. I don't need to see any more. It's like, okay, they could never touch Ant-Man again, and I'd be okay with it because it's what happened to him during this film. He didn't change at all. Every other movie at least has some sort of change in a way. Even Thor Love and Thunder kind of had character arc where Thor learned to move on from Jane and learned to, you know, be who he wants to be instead of who he's supposed to be. There's some sort of character arc there, even if not done amazingly. This film actually had nothing happen to the characters. Another thing that really pissed me off, that's been a problem in most Marvel films recently, the kids are way too smart. Holy shit, I hate how they're making kids. I've said this before, I'll say it again. Kids are way too damn smart in the MCU. They make it no mistakes, and it's super fucking frustrating. I don't get, maybe it's just me, maybe this is a little bit petty on my part, but wow, it pisses me off when these kids are damn near perfect. Everyone else is making mistakes around them, but for some reason, they can never mess up. And if they do mess up, it's fixed by the end of the movie and they're perfect again. It's like, come on, can we stop? The only sort of kid character in the MCU that had any sort of growth and wasn't perfect at the beginning was America Chavez, which is why she kind of worked, is because she wasn't just perfect right out of the gate. She actually had some sort of character arc. Cassie Lang does nothing in this film. She is just a female young version of Ant-Man, which I hate. Again, I hate the derivative characters. It's really annoying that they just want to make, they can't make new interesting characters to diversify their portfolio. They just take a character they already had and make them female, or make them a kid, or make them black. Like, that just isn't interesting to me when you just take a character and just change their appearance, but it's the same character. It's like, why not just make a new character and introduce a new character that helps diversify your portfolio instead of just taking characters that we already know and just changing them into a female or whatever. I don't like that. It's not something that's really interesting to me. Now you have Ant-Man, and now you have like Ant-Man 2, but young and female. It's a little like, come on, can we not just come up with new characters? I also thought MODOK in this film was completely useless. What the fuck was the point of MODOK? What did he do? He did nothing. That's what he did? I thought it was really sad because I think MODOK is a fun character. I guess he is kind of fun in this movie, but man, he's like, why is he in this thing? There's no reason for him to be in this thing. I guess, to be fair, he is the only character in this movie that had some sort of character arc. He went from being this machine only designed for killing. No, whatever machine for killing. I don't know. We're just gonna call him that. He starts off as that, but then, you know, he grows into, I'm not a dick, and he runs and, you know, saves the day, I guess, which, I don't know. I just didn't see what the point was for MODOK. It made no sense to have him in this film. He did nothing, so that was just a bit of a wasted opportunity. It seems like they just wanted to do it more because they wanted to do it and not because it was actually something that fit. But yeah, overall, I can't think of much more I want to say about this movie. It's just a huge, upsetting movie. It really is. I already gave it a 60 out of 100 on the rock scale. I'm glad that we've seen Marvel say they're gonna start taking more time on their projects again. Maybe we can get back to the glory days when they actually treated their projects like projects and gave them time to actually make them a good thing instead of just pumping them out because you know that you can put Marvel on the poster, it's gonna make money. I hate that. You're treating your fucking biggest IP over there at Disney as a fucking joke, and it's kind of upsetting to see. So I hope they're able to turn that around. I want to love these movies. I used to love these movies. I still do love these movies. I love going out and seeing them, but god damn, they're really, I don't know how long I'm gonna really care to go out and see these movies if they keep up like this. Anyways, I feel like I've rambled on for too long about Ant-Man. I'm just really upset by it. Toodles.